In a big tidal wave, much too high for this song, there was born from the ocean the great Stormalong. He was 18 feet tall and he weighed a good ton. Of the world's greatest sailors, he surely was one. What a boon to the sailors to have Storm enlist. There was only one problem, as you've probably guessed. Whenever old Stormy would climb the gangplank, inevitably that good ship promptly sank. Storm along, oh storm along, sailors still gather to sing this sad song. Storm along, oh storm along, will you ever return to the sea? Well, the sailors got busy and soon they unfurled the biggest darn clipper ship yet in the world. It took 40 seamen to manage her wheel and 100-foot waters to take in her keel. They left Boston Harbor with the sun on their necks. It had taken 4 weeks to get all hands on deck. That ship was so lengthy they all quickly learned to employ teams of horses just to get stem to stern. Storm along, oh storm along, sailors still gather to sing this sad song. Storm along, oh storm along, will you ever return to the sea? That ship's towering mast went straight up to the sky, with a hinge in the middle just to let the moon by. The trip to the crow's nest took ever so long that the crewmen had beards when they finally came down. When approaching the great English Channel at last, Storm saw their great girth wouldn't let them get past. So he bellowed,
"My friends, this is our only hope. Haul up that whole shipment of laundry soap."
They soaked up her sides from the rail to the keel, from the bow to the stern till she slipped like an eel. Well, they slid through that channel that memorable day, touching white cliffs of Dover and the streets of Calais. Storm along, oh storm along, sailors still gather just to sing this sad song. Storm along, oh storm along, will you ever return to the sea? One day, weighing anchor from out of the sludge, they pulled on the chain, but that chain wouldn't budge. Said Stormy,
"My boys, you just leave it to me."
and with a sword in his teeth, he jumped into the sea. You know, the ship began pitching on wild foaming waves. The crew feared they were headed for watery graves. But just as that ship was about to capsize, Stormy bobbed to the surface with his tentacled prize. Well, it seems that an octopus swam from the ooze, settled down on their anchor and was taking a snooze. It was 15 feet long and it weighed several ton, well matched to old Stormy, that son of a gun. Storm along, oh storm along, sailors still gather to sing this sad song. Storm along, oh storm along, will you ever return to the sea? The days of the sailing ships soon died away. The steamships arrived and for years they held sway. So many great sailors were sailors no more, but landlocked landlubbers washed up on the shore. What happened to Stormalong, no one can say. When the steamship sailed in, perhaps Storm sailed away. Perhaps he's still sailing out on the high seas, with his hand on the wheel and his face in the breeze. Storm along, oh storm along, sailors still gather to sing this sad song. Storm along, oh storm along, will you ever return to the sea? Storm along, oh storm along, sailors still gather just to sing this sad song. Storm along, oh storm along, will you ever return to the sea? Fox went out on a chilly night. He prayed for the moon to give him light. He had many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh, many a mile to go that night before he reached the town. Oh. He ran till he came to a great big bin where the ducks and the geese were kept therein. He said, a couple of you are gonna grease my chin before I leave this town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh, said a couple of you are gonna grease my chin before I leave this town. Oh. He grabbed the gray goose by the neck. He throwed a duck across his back. He didn't mind the quack, quack, quack and the legs all dangling down. Oh, down, oh, down, oh. He didn't mind the quack, quack, quack and the legs all dangling down. Oh. Then old Mother Flipper Flopper jumped out of bed, and out of the window she stuck her head. She cried, John, John, the gray goose is gone and the fox is on the town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. John, John, the gray goose is gone and the fox is on the town. Oh. Then Johnny went to the top of the hill and he blowed his horn both loud and shrill. The fox, he said, I better flee with my kill or they'll soon be on my trail. Oh, trail, oh, trail, oh. The fox, he said, I better flee with my kill or they'll soon be on my trail. Oh. He ran till he came to his cozy den, and there were the little ones, 8, 9, 10, saying, Daddy better go back again, for it must be a mighty fine town. Oh, town, oh, town, oh. Daddy better go back again, cause it must be a mighty fine town. Oh. Well, the fox and his wife without any strife, but they cut up the goose with a carving knife. They never had such a supper in their life, and the little ones chewed on the bones. Oh, bones, oh, bones, oh. They never had such a supper in their life, and the little ones chewed on the bones. Oh. A frog went a-courtin' and he did ride. Ding dang dong go the wedding bells, a sword and pistol by his side. Ding dang dong go the wedding bells. Here's to Cheshire, here's to cheese, here's to the pears and the apple trees, and here's to the lovely strawberries. Ding dang dong go the wedding bells. Mr. Frog went a-courtin' and he did ride, Mr. Frog went a-courtin' and he did ride, Mr. Frog went a-courtin' and he did ride, a sword and pistol by his side, He went down to Missy Mousie's door, Went down to Missy Mousie's door, He went down to Missy Mousie's door, he gave a loud knock and he gave a loud roar, Said Missy Mousy, are you within? Said Missy Mousy, are you within? Said Missy Mousy, are you within? Ah, yes, kind sir, I sit and spin. Well, he took Missy Mousy on his knee. Took Missy Mousy on his knee. Took Missy Mousy on his knee. said, Missy Mousy, will you marry me? Well, without my Uncle Rat's consent, without my Uncle Rat's consent, without my Uncle Rat's consent, I would not marry the president. Well, Uncle Rat laughed and he shook his fat sides. Uncle Rat laughed and he shook his fat sides. Uncle Rat laughed and he shook his fat sides to think of his niece as a froggy's bride. Uncle Rat gave his consent. When Uncle Rat gave his consent. When Uncle Rat gave his consent, the weasel wrote the publishment. Where will the wedding supper be? Oh, where will the wedding supper be? Where will the wedding supper be? Way down yonder in a holler tree. Oh, what will the wedding supper be? What will the wedding supper be? What will the wedding supper be? Fried mosquito and a black-eyed bee. Well, the first guest in was a bumblebee bee. First guest in was a bumblebee bee. First guest in was a bumblebee bee, and he danced a jig with a crooked back flea. Well, the next guest in was a little black tick. Next guest in was a little black tick. The next guest in was a little black tick, and he ate so much he made himself sick. Well, they all went sailing across the lake. They all went sailing across the lake. They all went sailing across the lake, and they got swallowed up by a big black snake. Little piece of cornbread sitting on the shelf. There's a little piece of cornbread sitting on the shelf. There's a little piece of cornbread sitting on the shelf. If you want any more, better sing it yourself. Way back in the mountains in a one-room shack lived a poor widow woman and her only son, Jack. One day he told his mama, "Mama, don't worry none, I'm going out to seek my fortune and have some fun." Jackie got his gear all wrapped in a sack, tied it onto a stick and slung it over his back, pinched a pouch of tobacco, stuck a pipe in his mouth, kissed his mama goodbye, and then he lit out. Took whatever road pleased him, didn't pay much mind. He was out for adventure and his fortune to find. With his pipe and his mug and his gear in a sling, he was feeling lightheaded and started to sing. And he sang, "Hey, hey, world, well, you better take care. Ain't afraid of no lion, no tiger, no bear. I've finally been sprung from my one-room shack. You've got another thing coming, 'cause you don't know Jack." He was humming and whistling, feeling so bold, when he came to a house just covered with gold. The door got flung open and Jack gave a whoop when a 7-foot man stepped out on the stoop. Jack gathered his courage, took a step back, hollered, "Howdy do, Daddy, my name is Jack. I'm looking for work and adventure too. Well, you know who I am, so tell me, who are you?"
Well, Jack, don't you know I'm king of these lands? I own everything from the sea to the sands. I'm a benevolent ruler if you do as I say, but I'm a mean old cuss if you get in my way.
And Jack hollered, "Hey, hey, king, well, you better take care. Ain't afraid of no lion, no tiger, no bear. I've finally been sprung from my one-room shack, and you might be king, but you still don't know Jack." Well, the king took a shine and invited him in, tied him into an apron and told him to tuck in. The king piled his plate with potatoes and meat, and then they sat themselves down and they started to eat. The food was so filling and the plate piled so high, Jack was stuffing it in till he thought he would die. When the king turned away, Jack ripped his apron wide, and taking fistfuls of food, he scrunched it down inside. King said,
Jack, I've got work if you're keen. Got a patch of new ground nice as you've ever seen. I got nigh 90 acres that I'm itching to clear, but there's giants that keep killing every axeman comes near.
At the mention of giants, well, Jack started to choke, commenced to cough and hoping it was a joke. Then he turned to the king with a new thought in his head, said, "For 1,000 apiece, I'll kill those giants dead." Jack, he went up to that patch of new ground and pulled out his hatchet and he started to pound. The ground started shaking till his eyesight blurred, and then he did a fine impression of a startled bird. Flew up that oak just as fast as he could, till a limb 20 feet up, and from there he stood till he saw what was tromping and stomping the earth was a 3-headed giant with a 30-foot girth. Jack howled, "Hey, hey, giant, well, you better take care. Ain't afraid of no lion, no tiger, no bear. I've finally been sprung from my one-room shack, and you might have 3 heads, but you still don't know Jack." The giant, he soon spied where Jack was at, and he came up and seated himself for a chat. The head said,
"How do, Jack? Won't you come down? It'd be easier to have you down here on the ground."
Jack took the meaning implied in his speech, and he stayed where he was, which was well out of reach. Instead, he said, "Hey, Daddy, I'm smarter than you, and I can do plenty of things that you can't do." The giant, he grumbled, and he pawed at the air. He said,
"You'd best prove it, Jackie, 'cause just boasting ain't fair. You say you can do something that I can't do, well, you start in a doing, or I'll have to eat you."
Jack said, "Here's something I do just for fun. Cut myself wide unopen, it won't hurt me none. Then I'll sew myself up with some string that I found. I'll be just as good as new from my head to the ground." Giant 3 heads laughed until the tears came, said,
"Now, Jack, you're lying, but I'll play your game. If you cut yourself open, I'll do just the same. But when you fall down dead, you'll have no one to blame."
Jack took his pocket knife, opened it wide, and slit that old apron with the food still inside. The meat and potatoes like guts spilled on down, dripping off from that tree till they plumb hit the ground. Giant was goggle-eyed watching old Jack as he calmly reached round and pulled from his sack a long piece of string and a big needle too, and he stitched up his body till it was just like new. Giant then picked up the hatchet Jack dropped, and he took careful aim and he started to chop. He chopped right down the center of his middle head, and he staggered around a bit and fell down dead. Jack shinnied on down from his perch in the tree. He picked up the hatchet and he lopped off all 3 of that giant's 3 heads and stuffed them in his sack, lobbed them over his shoulder, and started on back. He was singing, "Hey, hey, giants, well, you better take care. I'm Jackie the Giant Killer, so beware. Finally been sprung from a one-room shack, and you might think you're something, but you don't know Jack." Well, the king was as happy as a king could be when he peeked in that sack and counted 1, 2, 3. He offered Jack anything if he'd remain and see that all of them giants in the woods was slain. Jack thanked him kindly, but he turned him down, and he wished the king well with clearing his new ground. He loaded his pipe and then he hit the track with 3,000 in gold jingling in his pack. He was singing, "Hey, hey, world, well, you better take care. I ain't afraid of no lion, no tiger, no bear. I killed me a giant, now I'm headed on back, and you might think you're special, but you don't know Jack." Nothing to do, Nellie darling. Nothing to do, you say. Let's take a trip on memory ship back to the bygone days. Sail to the old village schoolhouse, anchor outside the school door. Look in and see, there's you and there's me, a couple of kids once more. School days, dear old golden rule days, reading and writing and arithmetic, taught to the tune of the hickory stick. You were my queen in calico, I was your bashful barefoot beau, and you wrote on my slate, I love you, Joe, when we were a couple of kids. Remember the hill, Nellie darling, and the oak tree that grew on its brow. They've built 40 stories upon that old hill, and the oak's an old chestnut now. Remember the meadows so green, dear, so fragrant with clover and maize, into new city lots and preferred business plots, they've cut them up since those days. School days, dear old golden rule days, reading, writing, and arithmetic, taught to the tune of the hickory stick. You were my queen in calico, I was your bashful barefoot beau, and you wrote on my slate, I love you, Joe, when we were a couple of kids. look out now. Here he comes. Two daft little arms like toasting forks, enough skin to make coats for 10 men. As dirty as pitch, he slept rough in a ditch, and the feet from a monstrous hen, my boys, the feet from a monstrous hen. A bit of a freak, part beast, part bird. Would you dare stick your tongue out at him? He's a mean dinosaur, mouth as wide as a door, and teeth that stand up, dagger slim, all the boys, with teeth that stand up, dagger slim. I used to do across the mud flats, he belts in top gear, a rope lighthouse with blood on his brain. Better kneel down and pray for all those in his way. He'll grind bones again and again, oh my boys, he'll grind bones again and again. Oh my boys, he'll grind bones again and again. He's a mean dinosaur, mean dinosaur. Grind your bones, grind your bones. He'll grind your bones, grind your bones. Ollie is my puppy's name. He's made of cloth and stuffed with foam. He's a rambling dog and oh so hard to find. Mama say I can't find Ollie, I've his dinner and he's late. She said the last time I saw Ollie he was by the garden gate. Ollie often plays a game of hide and seek when he gets bored. He's a clever dog and he knows just where to hide. Mama say, have you seen Ollie? Now he's hid himself from me. She said the last time I saw Ollie he was in the beechnut tree. Ollie sometimes likes some time and space to be all by himself. He's a pensive dog, he needs his privacy. Mama call, I'm short one, Ollie, and it's nearly time for bed. She said the last time I saw Ollie he was in the old tool shed. Ollie has a silly way of making accidents occur. But he's a clumsy dog, I can't keep him in line. Mama, I say the fault was Ollie's. I am not the one to blame. She said the next time I see Ollie, I'll say he should be ashamed. Cozy in my bed. He's a cuddly dog when we're tucked up real tight. Mama, I say I love my Ollie as the Sandman comes in sight. But my mom just kisses both of us and then turns out the light.
He's looking mighty mean. He's got a shell of iron and 2 wings of neon green. The biggest ugly cockroach I've ever seen. I'm dashing to the closet for old ugly gets away. It's where I hide my stash for keeping keeping ugly bugs at bay. I'm flinging wide the door and leaping hard into the fray. The only way to keep the peace is making pieces of your prey. I'm going on a bug hunt, knock him on the head. Going on a bug hunt, kill them all dead. I'm going on a bug hunt, run them right down. Going on a bug hunt, squish them in the ground. I shot him with a spud. Old Ugly skidded out the door, that bullet was a dud. I jumped up and tore after him, screaming for his blood. Old Ugly skidded back inside, I landed in the mud. I'm tracking mud and anger all over mama's place. The mud is on my feet, anger on my face. Revenge is such a cold dish, I'll give that bug a taste. Adding my own relish when I've laid him all to waste. Going on a bug hunt like you've never seen. Have a boogie barbecue, pick his bones clean. Going on a bug hunt, you know it's sad but true. Buggers each got 6 legs, I only got 2. In my room, I'm feeling pretty jazzed as I pick up the nearest broom. I can almost see him sweating as he contemplates his doom. But just as I'm about to put that critter in his tomb, I'm suddenly aware another sound's been going down. It's got a steady beat, a kind of military sound, pounding in my ears, but it's coming from the ground. I fling